Morning.
Hey!
Good to
I
be.
couldn't resist.
Yeah, you
never
have to
can.
do it. It's just the way it is, and people are used to that now, so they expect it. I know I do.
I know if I don't say it, then we get all these comments of hey
I
from
know.
other places. So hey, where are you listening from? By all means, give us a shout out, say a howdy, announce that you're here, and if you're being blessed throughout the broadcast, be sure to share it forward.
There you go. So we're excited to be with you again this morning, as we always are. We were out to dinner last night, and we were talking just about a couple of things that we encountered this week, just in real life, and then also in some of our coaching calls. And we thought, this would probably be a good thing for us to talk about. It's, every week when we come to you, we try not to fabricate something to bring to you. We're actually bringing things to you each and every week that are things that we're going through, things that we're learning that are very much real time in our life. Most of the time, probably at least 99% of the time. You think 99% is a stretch?
I would say, no, I'd say 99% of the time is pretty,
okay,
pretty close.
Very good. So we're excited to bring to you a couple things that we observed this week. Why don't you talk about, if you want to jump right in and just talk about your time at the beach the other day and what you were telling me that you observed. 'Cause that's kind of a heart-wrenching lesson, I think, for all of us. Anyway.
Again, I love going to the beach because it's my time for replenishment. It's the time where it just seems like everything can stand still. I position myself to listen for God's voice. And so obviously I'm in a slower pace of life. And
when you're at the beach.
When I'm at the beach.
Not generally speaking, but when she's at the beach.
and in that place, I observe other people and I watch them. And even at the beach, it seems like they're frazzled and they're rushing. And so this last morning, I was there and I was watching this mom interact with her little girl. And this little girl was bebopping and said, "Oh, please, can't we stay longer?" And the mom was like, "No." Very short and curt, just frazzled, worn out, walking about probably 5 to 10 steps ahead of her daughter, way ahead of her. And her daughter's like, "But Mommy, it's so beautiful. It's so pretty. Can we stay?" She said, "No, I told you I'm only here for the picture." And I thought, oh man, I'm sure that mother had no intention of communicating a disvalue to her daughter. She never intended on trying to make her daughter feel like she was annoyant. She never wanted to display harshness. She never wanted to probably miss out on a memory that she could have made. But somewhere in her franticness and frazzledness, she was about getting something done and just plunged all over this little girl. And the look on the little girl's face was so disheartened. And rather than judging that mom, I prayed for her because I'm sure I've had plenty of those times as a mom myself.
Well, that preface makes me think maybe you did judge her for just a second.
Well, I was tempted to because I was like, look at this little girl's face, and it was like so crushed, and I thought,
I'm just teasing.
And so, but then I immediately, of course, God, because I'm there with God and I'm speaking, and I thought, how many times do I rush through life? And have I communicated that to other people unintentionally? Or how many times in our marriage relationship have I been so busy and frantic that I've forgotten to stop and make memories? How many times have I forgotten the joy of just connecting with you or the pursuit of discovery of you?
I think it's a trap that we can all fall into. So this mom, who knows what went on in her morning? This was early in the morning, and she might have had a million things to do and a million things on her mind. But when the little girl, and again, as a third party looking in, how this
she's
is
so cute,
gonna
little 5-year-old
grab you,
bebop
right?
around, little blonde
So,
curls.
Mommy, it's so beautiful. Can we just stay? And I appreciated when you shared that story with me. I wasn't there, but it touches me, and it's such a great reminder for all of us, isn't it? The power of our words, for one thing, but also just our attitude in general in life. It is easy to get frustrated. There's plenty of things on any given day to frustrate us. It's easy to get distracted with just checking things off our list and moving on, right? And this lady, like me, I think, on many days, missed a great opportunity just to pause for just a second with her little baby girl and soak in the beauty.
Reminds me, Stephen Covey said that most of us spend too much time on what's urgent and not enough time on what's important.
Yeah.
And so that kind of went through my head too, of like, where do I need to slow down to make sure that I'm making memories? Where do I need to slow down to make sure that I'm intentionally connecting?
Yeah.
With you, with my kids, with just friends in and out of my life. Slow
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, I'm also, I reflect on that beach conversation with that mom and her daughter, and I think about the other people in my life. Obviously you mentioned marriage, but also my kids. Um, I have, since you told that story just a couple of days ago, this was really early in the week when you went to the beach, I found myself just kind of pausing. Yesterday, Joshua, our son, came in from school, and I had a list a mile long of things that I still needed to get done yesterday. And it was 3:30, 3:45 in the afternoon, and I thought about that story for just a second, and then I put my computer down and I walked over to the table and I sat down and I just shot the breeze with him for a little while, no agenda.
Oh, I love that.
And I'm glad that I did, and I think, that's why we bring little stories like this and little things that are real time for us, because it encourages us just to begin to in this case, stop and smell the roses, right?
Yep.
And don't let the opportunity pass by to bless somebody or to connect with somebody, if at all we can. When we say slow down, by the way, we say that a lot. You'll hear us talk about slowing down. We're not talking about necessarily doing less, but there is a pace in our mind, I think, that I have learned where I am actually more productive when I'm in a relaxed state. Now, I have to choose that relaxed state because, like, we're in a season right now where there's not enough hours in the day again, I mean, we have...
I don't know why we do that to ourselves.
Well, because we love what we do and it's
Right,
exciting, but
yeah.
then we get in the middle of doing it and it's like, holy smack, what have we committed to here, Like, this is not fun anymore. But we're learning that there's a place in your mind where when you choose in your franticness to pause in your mind and slow down your mind, right? You can be, actually, I find that I'm more methodical and I can actually get more done, and I can connect with more people as I do it, because when we're frantic, our thoughts are not as clear. But when we choose to slow down in our mind, I find anyway, good morning, squirrel.
Oh, hi. I wish we could show this.
I will.
Oh, no, he ran. Okay, it's too late. He's up there. He's jumping
There
around.
he is.
Yeah.
Well, I think,
All right, well, anyway.
I don't know whether I caught him or not, but anyway, he hopped right up here by our heads and was checking us out. So anyway, so Julie, we were talking too about some of our coaching conversations.
Yep.
And we always learn, by the way, when we're coaching, the people who've engaged us in their coaching one-on-one, we learn in that process too. It reminds us of things, but it also reminds us of things that we've learned to implement and exercise that come easier to us now than what they once did, right?
Yep.
Would you talk about that a little bit?
All right. Well, I think that it kind of goes with that mom in that, the franticness, and sometimes we just get lost in our own world. And so it's been interesting because we've watched this pattern or this theme among some of the couples that we interact with where they become offended, or they become short-sighted, they become angry or frustrated. And a big part of it is because they see their spouse as an opponent versus a partner. They see them as wanting something different than what they want, or an infringement on what it is that they're trying to pursue. And so it makes it feel like an interruption to their life. And so one of the things we've been talking about is the power of choosing to not be offended. The attribute, I think one of the top attributes that we can have as a couple, as a partner, is to spend my life trying to discover you.
Yeah.
So when it feels as though you're resisting me, or you're wanting something different, or you're parenting different than me, or you want something financially different than what maybe on the surface I initially want, rather than being offended by it or looking at you like something's wrong with you or something's your fault, I want to try to pan back and look and say, okay, well, I wonder why he feels that way. I wonder why it is that he thinks that way. Not from, I wonder why you're thinking that, or I wonder why you feel that way.
Yeah. So when you're when your spouse, when your mate, when your friend, when your coworker, whatever, is frustrated
your
or
kid,
acting, rather than kicking them while they're down,
right?
it's an attitude of the mind, really.
Yeah.
We have learned this over the years. We really have, and we practice it on most days. And even if we don't get it right initially, sometimes it comes back to us. You know what I mean? And so it's like, wonder why she feels that way. Wonder why she's responding that way. Wonder what I can do to try to minister to her right now or serve her right now, rather than ganging up and feeling as though we're opposition. I mean, this happens in our own marriage sometimes, right?
Yeah, it's like, where do you want to live? What do you want to buy? What do you think? And I think that it's so easy just to go from one thing to the next. Like even date nights, it could be like when we're in a frantic place, it's like, okay, let's go have our date night so we can get that checked off of our to-do list versus discovery. And so I looked up the word discover, and it was interesting because it's like, it says find out, come to know, learn, realize, recognize, to see, to ascertain, to work out, to detect, determine, to notice, to perceive. Man, when I look at that and I think, when's the last time that I've tried to come to know you? Or when I've recognized you, when I've really saw to see you, when I've tried to detect what it is that makes you alive and to discover your dreams. Those kinds of things. I remember we went out to Texas Roadhouse, and quite honestly, it had been a really busy day, and I was sitting there going, I wish I was just being discovered. I wish he would ask me a question, right? It was one of those stinking thinking days. And rather, I caught myself.
I know which night this was now that you say that.
And I remember, I can't remember what I asked you, but it was like, okay, stupid, you know better than that. Don't let your mind go there. And instead, I started asking you about what you dreamt about and what it is that you would love to go do, or what was on your heart and what you were thinking. I can't remember, but it changed the whole mood, and all of a sudden I was involved in your life.
I think I'd had a tough day that day too, right? Wasn't I a little bit like...
You were a little cranky maybe.
I mean, not like overly, but not exactly 100%. I think I was preoccupied, and of course, therefore not engaging her clearly in the way that she wanted me to be engaging
There's the
her.
junk. See,
I'm
we're
sorry
not
for
perfect.
that. No, really, I am. I'm sorry for that. I want to do better. I get lost sometimes in my own thoughts and things that I'm trying to work through and juggle. And I think in reality, sometimes I forget in that process kind of some basic rules of engagement.
No, you do really good, baby. You're always.
Yeah,
it
but
was
I
just a bad day.
I want to do better though.
Yeah.
I want to do better, and I do remember it, and I think it ended up being a pretty good date night.
It
Except
did.
for I got sick the next day. I don't know
You
whether it was
did.
something
That
I
was
was
not
ate or
good.
what, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway,
Any other thoughts that you want to share?
no, I think that is the essence of what we want to transfer today. I think it's a matter of, again, slowing down in our mind to and pacing our own self. We can get more done, and we can engage in more meaningful conversation and connection with people when we choose to allow that franticness to subside.
Yep.
But it is an intentional thing. I think on any given day, we can all have perfect reasons that are justifiable to be completely chaotic and frantic, right?
Yep.
But even in the worst of situations, we can be the calm in the middle of all that storm if that's what we choose to be. Is that fair?
Yep. So today's call to action, or this week's call to action, is to slow down and consider the snapshots of your life. Like if that was the only snapshot, would you want to be remembered by that? Right? The second
Well,
is,
I have to say, since you said that, and obviously offer that same grace to other people.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
yeah.
we do see someone in a snapshot and we make judgments about them. That recently happened to me, actually. Someone I feel like completely judged and misjudged me based off of a
Snapshot.
comment that I shouldn't have made, but it was also a very innocent comment at the same time. And
Right.
it just, there was a judgment I think made about who I am, my character, my values, and things of that nature. And it really undid me for a few days, actually. Right?
Yep.
So anyway, I didn't mean to throw that little interjection in
No,
there,
it's
but
great.
but
It's great.
but it's pertinent, and I think it happens to all of us, and I think that we're going to reap from the seeds that we plant, and so we need to make sure that we're planting the right seeds, so that when we see someone, do what Julie did instead of judging them, pray for them, right?
Amen. Amen. So snapshots of your own life. Do you want to be remembered by that? Given grace. That was a great addendum. Given grace to others from maybe an unbecoming snapshot of their life.
Yeah.
And then the final one is to live in a state of discovery. To slow down, and instead of being offended by your spouse, look to discover them. They have a thought that's different than yours, not in a judgmental way, but in a compassionate, truly to understand. Seek to understand.
And then be understood.
And then be understood. Thank
Yep.
you. And discover your spouse.
We hope y'all have a blessed day. We're praying for each and every one of you. We love you, and we're excited. We've got some new announcements coming really, really soon, and we're excited to share those with you. But that'll just be your teaser for now. We'll catch you next week.